Hello, everyone. Welcome to the News Browse News broadcast. CTV News reports that Ontario Premier Doug Ford's government has reversed its earlier decision to pursue a judicial review against the Information and Privacy Commissioner, IPC. The government had initially sought to prevent the release of documents related to its problematic blue license plates, which were introduced in early 2020 but quickly discontinued due to visibility issues. The Canadian Press filed a Freedom of Information request for these documents, which the government initially denied, citing exemptions for civil servant advice and pending policy decisions. However, the IPC ruled that a compelling public interest outweighed these exemptions. While the government later announced its plan to phase out the blue plates through attrition, the IPC maintained that the public deserved more detailed information, including alternative approaches considered, their costs and benefits. The Ford government will now withdraw its court application and comply with the IPC's order, despite having previously fought a similar case concerning the Premier's cell phone records, which led to new FOI laws restricting access to such records. Opposition leaders have criticized the government for its lack of transparency and for delaying the disclosure. Quebec Premier Christine Fréchette has announced new financial relief measures totaling $300,000 think $100, the rents a parts of God. Krast Ingo and exiging deals, though 130 the Hortic Sigov. The package, detailed by Radio Canada International, includes a nearly $50 reduction in passenger vehicle registration fees, which will impact 4.9 million vehicles and cost $245 million, effective September 1st. Additionally, vulnerable individuals with modest incomes will receive direct deposits of 100 seconds to $200 in solidarity tax credit support starting June 4. Fréchette also confirmed a permanent provincial sales tax cut on specific groceries and hygiene items beginning July 15th. Finance Minister Eric Girard, who had previously warned about overspending, stated that the $86 million overrun can be absorbed by increased revenue, ensuring the 2026-27 budget remains solid. The vehicle fee reduction and support for vulnerable people are exceptional and not slated for renewal next year. A family with 2 children is projected to save approximately $350 this year thanks to these combined efforts. Global News reports that the Ontario Provincial Police are preparing to launch a new public website next year, which will list high-risk offenders. This initiative was announced by Solicitor General Michael Kersner as part of the province's annual Omnibus Justice Bill. The legislation will empower the OPP, Commissioner to disseminate information on offenders once a police chief in Ontario issues a community notification, centralizing data that local police currently share. This move is intended to enhance public safety and align Ontario's practices with those of the federal government and Alberta. In addition to naming offenders, the proposed bill introduces several other significant measures. It seeks to allow restraining orders issued in other Canadian provinces and territories to be enforced in Ontario without requiring a separate court appearance. The legislation also aims to ban medically unnecessary procedures on animals, specifically targeting cat declawing, dog ear cropping, and dog devocalization. While dog-tail docking was considered for prohibition, it was not included in the final proposal. Furthermore, the bill grants expanded powers to special constables to issue fines and make arrests for drug use on public transit, prohibits the future procurement of Chinese-made drones, and restricts the use of drones by government agencies and the Ontario Provincial Police. Nova Scotia Premier Tim Houston announced that his government is poised to begin negotiations with a company interested in onshore natural gas exploration within the province. This potential venture, reported by the Canadian Press, could involve hydraulic fracturing, commonly known as fracking, a practice for which the provincial embargo was lifted last year after a decade. 7 companies initially expressed interest in the natural gas exploration call. Premier Houston, who also serves as Nova Scotia's energy minister, indicated that talks would commence with one of these firms, with decisions on regulatory approvals and financial incentives to follow. He expressed optimism that other companies would refine their proposals for a second round of bids. Approximately 64% of Nova Scotia's known natural gas reserves typically necessitate fracking for extraction. Houston emphasized that increased resource extraction is seen as a key strategy to address Nova Scotia's fiscal challenges, highlighting this approach in his recent State of the Province address. Global News reports that St. John Police Chief Robert Bruce is set to retire in July, concluding a tumultuous 5-year tenure. His term was notably marked by multiple formal harassment complaints filed against him by several officers within the force. In a statement released on Monday, Bruce announced his retirement after 38 years in policing. He emphasized that upon his appointment in 2021, he aimed to lead the organization through a significant transformation towards a more modern and responsive service. However, he noted facing numerous challenges, including a systematic resistance to change, a restrictive collective agreement, and frequent changes among senior ranks. While claiming most complaints were dismissed as vexatious, frivolous, and not made in good faith, Bruce accepted responsibility for the few remaining allegations. He also asserted that the police union had employed similar tactics to discredit police management and city officials even before his arrival. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.